Your melee weapon is very important when playing Battlefield 1, not only because the melee combat is mega powerful and you can get out of trouble with it, but because different choices of weapon can provide other advantages. In this video I'll go through the different types of melee weapons and what they're good at, looking at some statistics on which ones are the most used along the way. For obvious reasons, I'll remove the bayonet charge and elite class melee from this discussion, as they aren't really an option when looking at the main melee weapons. Right now the cavalry sword is the most used melee weapon with around 18%, it is by far the most popular. This is probably down to it being used by the cavalry class though, and being damn cool to use. Again, it's not fair to keep this as part of the discussion as it's not strictly the sort of melee weapon we're looking for, although I will be looking at the Saber, which is of course the equivalent that you can use in the common classes. So to start off this discussion, what I'm going to do on screen now is post a little graphic showing you the different types of weapons and the categories that they fall into. You've got knives, you've got the heavy melee weapons like the hand tools, and you have blunt weapons like the clubs and the Bartek bludgeon and things like that. Let's start off with the knives. All the knives in game share the same statistics except for the sawtooth knife, which functions similar to the heavy melee weapons. Knives can output 35 damage per hit and have a speed rating of 90, with an additional advantage of having the largest takedown range of all melee weapons. As you can see from the video in the background, it's quite easy to grab somebody and knife them in the back, in a similar way to how you would in Battlefield 4. I would suggest using these knives if you want fast takedowns on enemies that are already injured. If you are a run and gun shotgun player, the knife might be a good idea for flanks when taking down enemies that you've already shot at or you plan to knife in the back. The combat knife is available from the default loadout, whilst the others can be unlocked fairly quickly through the class rank and war bonds. If you're picking a knife, it's pretty much down to your own opinion which one you want to go for. As I said, the sawtooth knife is different to all the others. As you can see from the gameplay, I've showed you the knife compared to the other melee weapons. For me, I find the knife is not effective from the front, but definitely is from the back. It's a 3-shot kill from the front, which means you really don't want to be doing that unless you are shooting them first, so you turn it into a 1-knife kill, and it's a very good finishing weapon. So say you shotgun them, you do like 95 damage, then you knife them. It's quicker than switching to your pistol in close range. If you're knifing in the back, it's also very effective. If you're looking to go on streaks with a melee weapon, knifing from the front, I definitely wouldn't recommend taking a knife. Even though the speed rating is good, it just doesn't do enough damage. You also don't get very good secondary effects on the knife, and you'll see that with the next section where I talk about the different weapons and how you can get different secondary effects such as breaking barbed wire or windows. The Saber is an interesting melee weapon that can be unlocked once collecting all 5 puzzle pieces through battle packs. It has a slower speed than the knives, clocking in at 50 per minute and a higher damage output of 55 or up. The Saber also has a special feature. It can destroy barbed wire, which is really useful on maps such as Ballroom Blitz and quite a lot of the maps when you're playing operations. The range is pretty impressive with 2.3 meters, meaning you can spam melee and destroy people who might be charging at you with a shotgun or automatico. I for one have not used the Saber much, but it is very popular and people who unlock it tend to stick with it because it has that versatility. You can hit people for a lot of damage, you've got quite decent range, and you can also break the barbed wire, so it's a win-win. It's a very, very good weapon. The only thing holding it back is the fact that you have slow speed compared to the knives, and you have to unlock it through battle packs, which means 5 puzzle pieces. It's a lot, but to be honest, DICE will introduce, almost certainly they'll introduce a competition or a challenge where you have to get, similar to the one at the minute with 300 shotgun kills, you have to get 300 kills with a weapon and then you unlock it for good. The hand tools, i.e. the shovel, the hatchet, the pickaxe, the kukri blade and the billhook, are all capable of 50 attacks per minute and 55 damage. This is very much similar to the Saber. There is a significant difference between them all though. The shovel has no special effects but hits hard with 80 damage. The hatchet can break barbed wire and wooden objects and also does 80 damage. The pickaxe can break wooden objects and pierce light armor, do 80 damage, but also has a shorter range compared to the other weapons. Finally, the kukri can break some barbed wire and has a decent long range capability compared to the others, and the billhook is the same but can also break barbed wire and wooden objects. I've included in the description of this video a little link that will show you the weapon statistics in detail. I know it's a lot to take in a video. The hand tools, i.e. the shovel, the hatchet, the pickaxe, the kukri blade and the billhook, are all capable of 50 attacks per minute and at least 55 damage. The blunt weapons are another option and can be a load of fun to mash enemy players with. The damage is around 45 with 2.3 meters range and a speed of 80 attacks per minute. Unlike the knives, certain clubs have the ability to break windows and doors or pierce the light armour of cars or elite soldiers. They are in between the quick knives and slow hand tools and provide the middle ground when looking at melee weapons. You can take all sorts. For me, you've got to take one that has a secondary effect, such as piercing the light armor of cars or elite soldiers. I find that's very, very effective, especially when you come behind an elite soldier and you haven't got a bayonet on your gun. You can just whack him around the head a couple of times and take him down. So overall, what should you be running with? For me, the most effective melee tool is either the hatchet, the sawtooth knife, the spike club, or the saber. I feel as if you need to have a secondary effect when using your melee weapon, as being able to break windows, snap barbed wire, or puncture armor on the elite class or light vehicles is really awesome. Take your pick depending on the situation, but for me, I'm currently finding the sawtooth is the most versatile and fun. I'm a big fan of the hatchet and the pickaxe, as I mentioned before, just because of the animations and the fact they've got a little bit of extra stuff that they can do. The sawtooth knife is probably the best all-rounder. The saber, if you've got it unlocked, is also really good. I haven't really found much place for the small knives in the game, but I think that's because at the minute I'm running as medic and I'm not really getting as close to enemies as I really could be if I was playing with the shotguns or the automaticos. So when I'm knifing somebody, it's often because I've run out of bullets, I can't get my secondary out, or I've run out of rounds on my secondary weapon, and I'm forced to use the melee. So it's nice to have one that deals a lot of damage. Maybe it can get me out of that situation. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below and let me know what melee weapon you're using currently. Which one do you think is the best in the game? Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.